super sport, wet paint, big feet. I pull up and kill shit, 6 feet.
Alright, 6 feet, going deep. It's Torius with
Karen Douglas, better known as KD.
Alright, Karen, why don't you tell us about what you do?
Just get right into it, right? Most people know me for artist management.
So, what artists do you manage?
I am a part of recording artist Trina's management team. I also manage a producer by the name of Audio Jones, and a new artist by the name of Lyric Ty. I've been working with them for a couple years.
She's upcoming right now?
The producer? Or the artist?
Yeah.
She's female. Yeah, upcoming. She's upcoming. I mean, she's done projects in the past, but we're working on some new stuff.
So, you're from Miami, Florida, or where are you from?
I have spent most of my life here, but I'm originally from London.
Oh, from London? Mm-hmm. How was it? How was it over there? I didn't think.
London is amazing. It's like a different world. Like it. I can't really compare it to. It kind of reminds me of New York, like just as far as it being like a huge melting pot.
Like a big city just and everything.
Big city, tall buildings, like that. I want to say like that fast life, everything just seems so fast paced. Like the actual city, London, but But yeah, London is amazing. I mean,
were you always into music?
No,
how's the music over there?
No, I actually came here at a very young age. So when I lived there, I wasn't involved in anything musically at all. I mean, I've always been into music. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like I used to play a couple of instruments and like just always into the arts. Period. Like that's just something that's always been natural to me. But as far as working with artists, I was way too young. I was like 9, 10 years old.
Were there a lot of artists from where you came from?
Back then, or
you mean like did you grow up around a lot of artists?
No, not at all. No, I wouldn't say that. I grew up like really into music, but like I wasn't like affiliated and didn't have any artists around me to say that that's what made me get into it. No.
So, what exactly was it that got you into wanting to get into the music business?
I kind of feel like it was one of those things that just happened because of my love for it. So I would always place myself in certain atmospheres. So I would be, I want to say from like high school on up, I would go to like all the music conferences, like anything that had something to do with music, I was there. Like, I would say that my interest grew after attending Peter Thomas. Back then, he had the How Can I Be Down music conference, and I went. I think I went like maybe like 2-3 years in a row, but like I was always at like any kind of music conference, like trying to sneak into concerts, like anything.
Were you one of those people that they would go to the concerts and they would just look around and just analyze everything and see, if I did this?
I would definitely. I mean, I never imagined that I would be a part of a mainstream artist management, but I think I kind of did see myself being involved somehow, but just didn't know at what capacity. Yeah.
So how did you get involved with that?
I think let me see. Maybe like I want to say might have been somewhere around like college. I was doing like, I think I was working at a club part-time. Like, it was working like a door. It was working a door at a club part-time, and I was a graphic design major at the time, and Trick Daddy, believe it or not, like it was his club night. Back then, like they had the different club nights.
So he was performing, or he was?
No, like he was just like he had the door for that club. You know how they have promoters, the club. So he was like one of the promoters for the night, and so I worked at the door for him part time, and I think that was kind of like, where some of my involvement kind of came into getting a little bit more involved with the artist, like behind the scenes, because I would do like little things here and there with him, or just being on the scene,
Yeah.
And then I had a mutual friend that introduced me to Trina, but back then, I was still in school, so it was more like intern type stuff.
Like
I would take
part-time?
photos. Yeah, I would do whatever was needed. Like, I'm sure Rory can relate. Like, however you can help, whether it's taking a photo,
like bringing coffee or something.
Yeah, like anything. But I was more. I was kind of like more like a techie, so I would be like, back then I would do like the basic websites and things like that.
So you pretty much met people through working at the club, right?
Yeah.
What was like the best way for you to network while you were there?
Well, like I said, I was a graphic design major, so I used some of those skills and things I learned there, and I brought them to the club. So I would do club flyers for a lot of the girls at their parties, and I would take photos, like anything. It's like you hustle. I'm working a door, but wait, you mean I can make money? Doing flyers, and everyone needed flyers. So then that became a thing, and
How different was that from like now? Well, do you still know about how it's going on now?
Extremely different.
Because I know now they have like social media and everything, so you can just put a flyer up
people
on
are. I mean,
Instagram.
it's become one of those things. I mean, definitely as far as doing flyers, I mean, graphic design, I feel like, I mean, it's a very broad field. I mean, you could be creating, billboards and, logos for, huge corporations. But, at that time, Lex, which, CEO of Lex Promotions, a lot of people are familiar with him, Maybach Music Group, he and I shared an office space. And, I would do all of the graphics for, you name it, like from club, Cameo, and spots like Sobe Live, like all of these places that were popping back then on South Beach. We had like a lot of those accounts, a lot of the local record labels, and like we did all of their print work, graphics. He would do the promotions, all of the the posters, anything, any and everything. Like, we were doing it back then. And that stuff has changed. Like, it's not now because of social media, so that it's changed a lot. So I couldn't see myself really, like, it got to a point where it was really draining for me, and I wanted to become more involved in actually working one-on-one with the artists, and from the management side, creative side. So it's deep. It's deep. I've done a lot.
So how was it transitioning from doing graphics to working with artists?
I mean, you saying how has it, or like how did it? You saying like how did it happen, or like
the difference from like going from one space to like this, like to the next space? Like, was it more strenuous? Was it more more tedious work? Did you have to work harder?
No, definitely doing the graphics was way more tedious. I mean, even though I worked for myself, so I had the freedom, but it got to a point where it was super draining, because some of the requests that people would have, it got to a point it was just so crazy. Like, it wasn't fun for me anymore. It was something that, again, like I said, I've always been passionate about anything that was art related, so graphics, anything. But it was like, hey, I need 50 people on this flyer for my birthday, and I'm like, so you mean I gotta crop 50? Like, it was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it got to that point, and I was doing a lot of this stuff, and of course I could have gone in a different direction, but I no longer had an interest in as far as working more with the artists. That came along because I was servicing a lot of artists locally. Like, there would be like a Jackie O, she would need, let's say she needed her mixtape cover done, or Trina needed, a single cover for an art, like for one of her records or whatever. So as I began working with artists more on that tip, I became more involved in their projects aside from just the graphics, and it was like, you know what, this is
like what were you like producing it or making it like just seeing what should be put out, stuff like that?
I was just becoming more involved creatively, as far as, you know, marketing, coming up with different marketing ideas and the campaigns. And so I believe that's where I got a little bit more involved on that end, and then it just turned into the management side, because it's all related at the end of the day, like, you know, being a leader and, you know, putting your ideas to use.
No, of course. Do you still feel that you can be creative even though you're managing the artist?
Yeah. If I can't be creative, then it's just not fun. Yeah. So I can still be creative. I mean, I still do. There are still a lot of things I do creatively. Like, I let my contributions, as far as, you know, I do some graphic stuff here and there, but I don't let it be known. I don't want to, because, you know, some people will take that as, oh, you're the graphic designer, or, well, I need this done. It's like, I don't want to be known for that.
They put you in a box.
They put you in a box, and then people start to contact you for jobs like that, and I just don't want, I'm not interested. I do things for myself, you know, like if I need, you know, a logo or something done, or like a flyer, like I post stuff all the time. People don't know that I'm the one that created it. I don't say, hey, I created this, or logo by me, or, you know, I don't really do that. Are you still
getting paid for it?
No. I've taken a couple of side jobs here and there just for the hell of it, but no, I don't. It's not even the same. Like the type of time I feel like you have to put into, because of social media and because of where technology is at right now. People can create flyers on their phone now, like from apps. So me being the type of person that I am, I feel like I'm actually skilled in graphic design, and no shade or to take away from people that do use these apps. It's like, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to spend time working on something and using my creativity to be underpaid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do that.
Do you feel like that would happen with management as well? With artist management?
Yeah, I mean, it happens now, because a lot of people, I feel like people, there are a lot of people that tend to bring on their homeboys or their homegirl or their cousin that is not experienced at all in the area, and they show that they're not experiencing it, and, you know, they probably have them working for free or little or nothing, and it's like the people that have been out here and actually are experienced, I feel like it does take away a little bit. And I mean, I'm not sure where we'll be with it some years from now, but I could see where it can have an effect.
So when do you feel like an artist should actually have a manager? Like at what point in their career?
I feel like they at least need to get to a point where they have some kind of buzz going in maybe just their area locally, you know, where they've built up a buzz to where now I'm getting somewhat of a demand, and I cannot, okay, this person's calling for this person's calling for that, like I can't manage it at all. At that point, you have something to manage. I feel like a lot of artists start out like, they'll say, okay, you know what, I want to be a rapper, and so now 2 weeks later they have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 songs that they've recorded, and they're like, I'm looking for a manager. And it's like, you don't need to manage what? Like, you don't have anything to manage yet, you know. Get something to manage first. You know, your people are in that email, they're asking for appearances, or they're asking for whatever it might be. Your requests are coming in. Now you need a manager to kind of help manage that and guide you to where you take things to the next level, and you just keep moving from there. But yeah, I get that all the time from, and it's not fun. Yeah, it's crazy. But if I had like $1, $5 for everyone that's every management inquiry, yeah, I'd probably be rich by now. Yeah, it's a lot.
So what do you actually look for when someone reaches out to you? Like if someone wants to get in contact with Trina, or well, like if they're writing like a letter, they're thinking, oh, what should I write to them? Like what would you, like if you saw that, what would you say to, like what would need to be said to catch your eye?
It depends on what they're asking. Off the top, when we get emails, I mean, you have different types of inquiries. So a lot of them are booking inquiries, which most of those go to CO, which he's the road manager. He handles, mostly anything that's booking related as far as shows and appearances. So majority of that stuff I don't really handle. But like other inquiries, which it may be per product placement for companies, it may just be a feature inquiry. There are all types of inquiries, but a lot of those inquiries off the top, you can kind of tell that they're not serious inquiries. It's like, oh, I want Trina to be on my song. What do I have to do? But I look for the way that they address, I don't know, like the way that they start off the email. And I'm not gonna say like I just trash emails based off, because I think I'm just a little bit more anal when it comes to that, like being grammatically correct and things like that. And everyone, you may have someone that's really trying to spend some money, and just because they didn't,
because they hear you like, yo,
they be like, yo, what up? Like, hey, I need to, I'm not gonna judge them based off of that, but a lot of times those emails are not serious, and that's just the truth of the matter. So
because they're sending them to like a lot of different people.
Yeah, like I feel like if you're sending a professional email, or you have a serious inquiry, at least try to, have some type of professionalism.
Yeah. I actually made a video about that. That's funny.
You did? Okay, good. Because I feel like this generation, it's cool. We all use slang here and there, but if I was applying for a job or sending an inquiry for something that I really, really wanted, I'm not going to say, hey, yo, what up? So, I saw you, and just the same way you can put W-U-T, you can type W-H-A-T. I don't know. It takes
about the same amount of time.
It takes about the same amount of time. I look at all that kind of stuff, and it may be bad, but I don't like that.
I feel like especially rappers, because they feel like a lot of people are their friends, so they just hit them up like the same way.
Yeah, and just because we listen to this type of music, and we may speak like that amongst ourselves, but if you're sending a professional email, that's just not how you word it,
Yeah.
So I look at all that stuff.
So what about with the whole Love and Hip Hop and everything? How has like things changed from before it started?
How have things changed? Well, just on the end, from where I'm at.
Like is it like more inquiries and?
Yeah, a lot more inquiries, and I would say a lot more inquiries as far as people wanting to partner up with their brands and product placement, because TV, there's the exposure, like it is so huge, so companies, different brands, of course, they know that, so they want to capitalize as much as possible. And so a lot more companies are looking to do partnerships and get their products exposure. And so we've been getting a lot of those type of inquiries, and it's the same. I mean, the same inquiries. Is just that it's increased.
Yeah.
With the show.
Is it more stressful now?
Not yet. Not yet, and I say that because I know it will get to a point as things heat up a little bit more, because it's still like the first season. I feel like right now they're just getting into the storyline, so it's not too deep yet. But once it starts to pick up in the second season, once it starts to pick up in the second season, and you get a little bit more into, especially into Trina's storyline, then things will pick up a lot more. And I can imagine it'll be a little bit more stressful, because that television exposure is just way different. You know, you could, like, someone may not even be a fan of yours or listen to your music, but they may have seen you on TV because they, you know, maybe they're a fan of this other person and they just happen to see you on the show, and now they're a fan because they've seen you on television, not necessarily because they even listen to your music. So it just brings about a whole new fan base. Which,
what about an artist that's trying to get exposure but they can't get on that TV level? Like, what should they do to get more exposure?
I would say you just have to get yourself out there, and when I say that, I mean not just social media, which, yes, social media is a platform that can be very, very, very helpful, and it is very helpful for a lot of people. But you still need to get out there and do the groundwork. You know, find out about different showcases, different venues that are different venues that are allowing artists to do open up or do. Sometimes you'll have opportunities where they have, like, say they have a main artist performing for an event, and they'll have like acts that they allow to open up, or I don't know. I mean, it's a lot different now from when we were kind of doing a little bit more of that type of stuff. But I would say just get out there as much as possible. Okay, you have a project out, you know, still try to get out there to as many venues that maybe have cater to the audience that would possibly listen to your type of music. So, you know, whether it's giving them a CD, I don't know, people still hand out CDs as much as they used to, but, you know, whatever it might be, some type of whatever, a flyer, maybe some type of product that they'll hold on to and go home and say, oh, let me check out this, you know, artist. They gave me this, you know, this today. I'll go to their SoundCloud. I'll go check them out on Spotify. But just try to get out there as much as possible. I mean, there's always some type of event or something going on. I mean, it's South Florida, like all kind of clubs and things, you know. I know. Like a couple years ago, I know they still do a lot of flyers. Like, I'm not sure. I mean, that's still a thing. So get out there, pass your flyers out, pass out your CDs, your flash drives, whatever it might be. And then, you know, if you do have a budget, hire the right people, like, you know, have Rory, people like that actually will promote you on social media.
And get your name more out there.
Get your name more out there. And a lot of pet peeve of mine, like, I see a lot of artists, and this is just the ones that do have the budget, I see them focus more on spending money on clothing and jewelry and buying bottles in the club. And it's like, all that stuff is cool, but, you know, if you're really trying to get your music out there, you should spend the same amount of money on promoting it. You know, whether, you know, like I said, like getting a real street team, social media, the people that are physically out there, putting together different marketing ideas and campaigns. Like, spend the same amount of money doing that, because you need those people. Don't try to you know, cut those people short, cut yourself short by not spending that money in those areas, because it's actually more necessary than spending, you know, a couple $1,000s in the club on bottles, but then you don't want to pay, you know, maybe an assistant, or pay for a really nice logo, or pay for your studio time, or pay your engineer. Like, that's what I hate. That
the priorities are
just it's all wrong.
What about how long do you think it takes for an artist to blow?
Honestly,
Let's record. If you can go.
Is it?
Yeah,
You know what? I don't believe there's like a set answer for that, because you can see like that's not a good example, but like a Trinidad James, I don't know how long he had been doing music, but you see when he came out, he said that he wasn't even doing music for that long, but then again, he's not even relevant right now, so that's probably not a good example. However,
because I have a friend named Chopstar, and he's only been making music for like a month, and he's about to be my most popular interview.
Really?
Yeah, so he's really blowing up right now, and he's only been doing it for like a month.
And that's the thing. So you really don't know. Like somebody like him, maybe he just got the right maybe he got that right look at the right time, and that might have been it for him. Probably that right interview put up at the right time, and then the right people seeing it and sharing it, but then someone else might have been doing music for like 4 or 5 years and then just started to really create a buzz. I don't feel like you should be I feel like if you started music, and some may take it the wrong way, but like I feel like if you've been doing this, like let's say you started like in your early 20s and now you're like in your 40s and you still haven't created any buzz, it may be time to look into something else and just focus on maybe helping someone else or writing records for someone else. That's my personal opinion. If it's taking that long, how they say, oh, never, like I'm not gonna say never, like I do believe that you should never give up, but I'm saying maybe you need to go about it in a different way. Maybe it's just not for you, like 20 years into it. Like you've never had any kind of like light buzz either.
Because I noticed that a lot, like in the early times, in like the early days, a lot of the rappers were a lot older. Like 50 Cent, like, like even like Drake, he was like 26, But nowadays, I feel like the younger you are, the more likely you are to pop.
That's true. I think that we're just in a different. I think that's where music is at right now. I think like there's so many new young kids, and they're like they all have a buzz. Yeah, like there's a lot of them I don't even know of. But
you can't really aspire to be like a 16-year-old when you're like 23.
No,
you can't.
You can't. And I'm not saying that you can't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't blow at that age. I'm saying if you've been trying since like 20 something, now you're 40 and you're still you have grown kids and you're still trying to break your first record, like it just may not be for you. You have to be realistic at some point.
What mistakes do you think that a person that's trying since their 20s and now they're 40, like what mistakes do you think they were making to not blow?
May not be mistakes. It's not for everyone. Like I'm just being honest. Like it's not just like everyone's not meant to be a superstar. If it was like there are a select few that will be like a Beyonce or be like a Michael Jackson. It's not for everyone. Like everyone's not gonna make it to that level. That's just something that some people have it in them. Just like I don't really believe that you can I don't know, like I'm not gonna say you can't create a superstar. I just feel like some people have it and some people just don't. They're just some people that possesses star quality. That's God given. That's not something that you can just like everyone just doesn't have it. Like if you you have some people that just wake up. I've met people like this. I met this guy once, and he had a lot of money. Like he just said, he was in his 20s, like late 20s. Like, hey, you know what? I want to rap. Hey, what's up? Can you get me some beats? And I was like, I'll get you some beats. But it just wasn't. And he did some records. He had the money, so of course he bought tracks. He got studio time. paid for, you know, got professional photos, got artwork done, all this stuff, but it's just like, it's not for everyone. Like, he just didn't have that, you know, it's not something that you can just buy yourself into. I mean, some people have done it, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's not common. It has to be something that you have, like, possess. You can write, like, I've said this, like I want to say like last year, and this might have been Cardi B, like she was like last year, the Bodak Yellow, right? I've said this, like, you could have probably given that same record, right, to another young lady, maybe same age, whatever, same age, you know, and they may not have been able to pull that off the way that she did. It's a hit record, agreed? But it's something that Cardi B possesses that made it likable. Like, if you could have given that same record to someone else, it may not have worked for them the way that it worked for her.
Heard it, or like
right. It's not, you know, it just is something that people possess that you just can't, you cannot buy that, and you can't teach that. Something about her that made her very likable, and the way she pulled that record off, it may not have been able to been done by someone else. Like, you know, let's say you took another young lady like the same age, kind of like the same, you know, a little bit of the same everything.
She wasn't Cardi B.
Yes, you're not Cardi B. Like, it wouldn't have worked for that person, but it worked for her because of who she is.
No, of course.
And it's just one of those things, like.
But do you have any advice that you want to give to anyone that's like starting out right now? Anyone that's thinking about getting into music?
Any advice? Be yourself. It's very important to stay true to yourself. Passionate, persistence, all of those things are very important, because I feel like if you're passionate about something, naturally you're going to work hard. You know, you don't have to, someone that's passionate about something and really wants something, you don't have to tell them to wake up at a certain time in the morning. Like, they just have that fire inside of them that they want it so bad. They're up, they're at an event, they're in a studio. You don't have to tell them anything. That's passion. Everyone doesn't have that. So yeah, those are things that I believe you need to have. Yeah, passion, persistence, prayer. Yeah.
Another P.
Another P, yeah. Drive, ambition. I could keep going.
Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Rari, my right hand man, he makes it happen. We make it happen as a team. Like, that's my what do you call it? That's the slogan. That's what we do. We make it happen. That's the motto. That's it.
What about
that's the word I was looking for.
What about where they can find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Miss Katie to you. Twitter, everything is the same. MSKD #2 letter U. Yeah, everything is the same. Website katiemusicmm.com, and I think that's it. Sure. I don't know why I feel like slightly nervous, but yeah.
I didn't see
this was more relaxed though, not like uptight.
No, yeah.
I don't really do it. I don't do interviews.
Keep it natural.
Yeah, it felt natural.
So it's been 6 feet with Miss Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Music.
Signing out.